it's just such a fuck. I mean, the whole situation internationally has been so tense already with what's going on in Gaza, with what's going on in Ukraine. It's like, and to add this to the pile, it's like, I mean, it genuinely feels like there's a real possibility that we might be entering World War III.
What would that look like?
I don't know. I never expected Iran to start attacking. You know, they launched bombs into UAE, Dubai. I mean, where else?
I think they expected that, though, right? I mean, it makes
Really?
Iran looks pretty isolated. I mean, I will say, you know, I was totally, obviously, maybe not obviously, but very much on the left and was opposed to all the stuff Reagan was doing, challenged the entire foreign policy establishment on the basic view of just, you know, of just kind of keeping it, you know, keeping the communists where they were. And instead, Reagan really pushed back against it and said, there's got to be regime change. It sort of almost had a moral, certainly there's a defense buildup, but a moral argument. And I think it had a big impact, and to bring down communism. So the Iranian, I'm obviously have very mixed feelings about it. The Iranian regime is just so evil and so awful that, you know, you're every time you see videos of people taking these courageous actions, you're like, somebody bring that regime down. There is something, I caution my own, I talk back to my own anti-interventionist instincts when I think about Reagan just being like, you know, we're not going to do just containment strategy anymore. We're actually going to talk back to communism because people deserve to be free. And now, is everything better for, you know, is everything fine in Russia? Maybe not, but I mean, communism was just awful, you know, just a totally soul-killing, you know, crushing, you know, a giant lie. So I think we have to kind of keep that in mind, and especially when you're in a moment of just such incredible chaos like we're in now. I tell my students, I'm like, you get to live through one of the most interesting moments in history, certainly in the last 80 years, because the entire paradigm where the United States had these allies and everything's going to go through the Security Council and we're going to try to make it to the UN and there's got to get agreements and all this stuff, that's just gone. I mean, it's gone to the part where they don't even, where you're kind of like, what's going to happen inside Iran? They're like, that's not our concern. We hope that there's an overthrow of the government, but we're not like going to necessarily commit to that.
Well, they're also calling on the people to rise up, which is, you know, I mean, look at what they did with the protesters. I mean, they killed thousands of people.
And look at Iran and Venezuela. They don't have internal, the opposition is not united. There's not a united opposition with a united figure. I mean, remember, it was so interesting watching '79 when these protests against the Shah were going on. The left and the Islamicists made an alliance in Iran. It's something really interesting topic. Only starting to explore right now. But they made an alliance. So they'd be holding up the Ayatollah Khomeini pictures in the street. Like, they had their guy, and the left was like, "Look, we're just going to go with this guy." I think he was making promises to the left around allowing more liberalism, and then they came in and just consolidated into this really hardline Islamicist regime. But they had a guy. We don't have a guy in Venezuela. We don't have a guy in Iran.